All right, let's just jump right in. We're starting with a massive cosmic mystery. I mean, we're talking about a crisis that's shaking the very foundations of cosmology. It's challenging everything we thought we knew about how the universe works.
So, what's at the heart of this crisis? It's actually a pretty simple but totally baffling fact. The universe is building things that just shouldn't exist. Out there, in the deepest, earliest moments of cosmic history, we're seeing things that our best theories say are just flat out impossible.
And look, this isn't some small, quirky little anomaly we can just brush aside. No way. Thanks to the absolutely incredible power of the James Webb Space Telescope, we're finding these gigantic supermassive black holes that completely contradict our standard story of how the universe is supposed to evolve.
And this is where the sheer scale of the problem really hits you. On one hand, right, you've got the standard theory. It says black holes start small, from collapsing stars, and they grow slowly over billions of years. But on the other hand, JWST is finding absolute monsters. We're talking up to 300 million times the mass of our own sun, back when the universe was just a toddler. The math, it just doesn't add up. There's not enough time.
So you can see this is way more than just a little crack in the model. It's a massive chasm opening up in modern physics. And whenever you get a crisis like this, that chasm creates an opportunity, a space for a really radical new idea. One that doesn't just, add a new particle to the list, but suggests a completely new architecture for reality itself.
Which, of course, brings us to the new suspect in town, the radical theory that claims it has the answer. It's got a mouthful of a name. It's called the psychedelic superfluid universal morphonic ocean theory. We're just going to call it PSUMO for short. So what's the big idea behind PSUMOT? Well, it proposes a truly mind-bending solution. It asks, what if the vacuum of space isn't empty at all? What if the entire universe, every star, every galaxy, every single particle and force, what if it's all just a different ripple, a different vibration in one single, gigantic, interconnected cosmic superfluid?
Okay, so this is the crucial point. PSUMOT isn't trying to just slap a patch on the old model. It's offering what it calls a structural solution. It's basically saying the problem isn't a missing ingredient in our cosmic soup. The problem is the entire recipe is wrong. We need a totally new understanding of cosmic dynamics.
All right, so how on earth can we even begin to wrap our heads around a theory this big? Well, the key clue, the starting point, is a concept called parallax. And believe it or not, it's something you can demonstrate for yourself, like right now.
Seriously, go ahead and try it. Hold your finger up, close one eye, then the other. See that little jump? That's it. That's parallax. It's just a simple geometric effect. An object's position seems to change based on your point of view.
Now, astronomers take this exact same simple principle and blow it up to a cosmic scale. They use the Earth's entire orbit as their two different viewpoints. By watching a nearby star in, say, June, and then again in December, they can measure that tiny apparent shift against the distant background stars. And from that angle, they can calculate the distance. This is the absolute bedrock of how we measure anything in the universe.
Okay, but here's where PSUMO takes this really fascinating massive leap. It argues that this principle of parallax isn't just for stars out in space. It's also a fundamental principle of the mind. Think about it. Just like changing your physical position shifts your view of a star, PSUMO suggests that changing your psychological viewpoint, say from your conscious mind to your unconscious, literally shifts your perception of what's real.
The philosopher Slavoj Žižek just nails this idea. He says, the way you look at something is already part of the thing you're looking at. Sure, the picture is in my eye, but I am also in the picture. It's brilliant. Your perspective isn't separate from reality. It's baked into it. The way you look at the world literally changes the world you see. And that idea of an observer-dependent reality, that is the absolute core of what PSUMOT is getting at.
But look, this can't just be some cool philosophical idea, right? For PSUMOT to be taken seriously as a scientific theory, it has to put its money where its mouth is. It has to make real, testable predictions. Predictions that are different from what the standard model tells us to expect. And the cool thing is, it does.
Okay, prediction number 1. PSUMOT says space-time isn't empty, remember? It says it's a superfluid. And if that's true, it should have a texture, a viscosity, something that could actually slow down gravitational waves just a tiny bit. So imagine two neutron stars collide. Bam! They release a burst of light and gravitational waves. In a vacuum, they should arrive here at the exact same time. But in a superfluid? PSUMOT predicts the gravitational wave will arrive a fraction of a second later. Finding that delay would be an absolute smoking gun. Prediction number 2. It also says we should find a faint second echo in the way galaxies are clustered across the universe. So our standard model perfectly predicts this one big peak in the data. That's the large bar you see here, which comes from sound waves in the very early universe. But PSUMOT predicts there should be a second, much fainter peak, a kind of fossil of a massive pressure wave from the moment dark energy first kicked in. It's a specific, measurable signature that the standard model has no explanation for.
And then there's maybe the most mind-bending prediction of all. A kind of cosmic memory. The theory suggests we'll find that the spin of huge clusters of galaxies are faintly aligned with each other, even when they're in regions of space that are so far apart they could have never ever communicated. It's like they somehow know about each other. It would be this ghostly signature, a faint memory of the universe's initial perfectly coherent quantum unity. So you've got these wild predictions about space-time, galaxy clusters, cosmic memory, and then you have this idea about the parallax of the mind. What on earth connects all of this? Well, the theory argues that if reality really does shift with your perspective, then the geometry of that shift has to be the most fundamental thing there is. And according to PSUMOT, the answer lies in a really beautiful piece of mathematics. It's called circle inversion, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a geometric transformation that lets you flip a circle, or maybe even reality itself, completely inside out. Everything that was on the inside gets mapped to the outside, and vice versa. But here's the magic, the really crucial part. All the essential geometric relationships, all the angles, they're perfectly preserved. The fundamental information doesn't get lost. And PSUMOT's biggest claim is this. This isn't just some clever math trick. This geometric flip, this inversion, is the underlying grammar, the linguistic syntax for everything, for both our own consciousness and for the cosmos itself. It's the secret blueprint for reality. And if that's true, this one single geometric idea becomes unbelievably powerful. It can model the Big Bang as a literal inside-out flip of the universe. It could explain a deep mystery in biology called homochirality, why all life uses, for example, left-handed amino acids, as a geometric property that was preserved through that cosmic flip. And maybe wildest of all, it provides a mathematical model for the strange mirror world experiences people report in altered states of consciousness. It's an attempt to unify the cosmos, life, and the mind with one single geometric key. So, this all leaves us with a really provocative final thought, doesn't it? We started with parallax, a simple shift in perspective that changes how we see a star. The theory then extends that to our own minds and even to the very fabric of the universe. So the final question is, if reality is all about perspective, what happens when we finally see it from just the right angle? Maybe it's not just a different view we'll get. Maybe it's a completely different world.